Greetings, everyone. Welcome to week 6 of BA 106 ChatGPT and generative AI applications. This week, we're talking about productivity and workflows. Now, before we dig too much into this, I wanted to go over a couple of thoughts that I have in regards to this week, and then the remainder portion of this semester. So, a couple of things that are going to be taking place, and I just want to let you know about it. Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be working on building a workflow that is going to be customized to your work or school scenario. But I want you to start thinking about it and building a use case, a potential use case. Next week, our assignments are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be much more interactive. So we're going to move for next week, during week 7, our discussion board is going to be due on Wednesday, as will it be on week 8. I know that's finals week, but it's because I want to give you guys opportunities to iterate on the assignments. So this week, the assignments are all about kind of building a workflow, understanding what goes into it, and starting to get used to that concept. And then next week, what we're going to be doing is basically building our final project, which will be our assignment for week 8. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be working very closely with you guys, and I want to be able to respond to you guys on Thursday. That way you have, hey, Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to kind of reiterate and work on your projects. So it's going to be a lot of collaboration starting in week 7 and week 8. But right now, for this week, I want to give you a run through a basic concept of what we're doing. Now, this week we did get into some fun stuff, okay? This week is all about working smarter, not harder. And it is one of the things that made me fall in love with AI, okay? We're diving into the practical and immediately useful applications of AI, namely boosting your productivity and automating daily tasks using generative tools. This is important because whether you're a student, a business owner, a parent juggling 20 priorities, or just trying to get through the day, this week's tools and strategies will help you save time, reduce mental clutter, and get more done. So we're going to jump into this. I think it's important to understand when you're looking at productivity and workflows in AI, it can get technical, okay? It can become overwhelming. And it's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know. And trying to figure it out can feel super daunting. All right. The material that I provided this week is some of the most up-to-date stuff, and it really walks you through everything from the real basic stuff to where you start to get more advanced. Now, what's interesting about it, though, is that with AI, your imagination is really the limit. Okay. So I want you to take this week some time to really dig deep into what you're looking to accomplish and what you feel is a beneficial use case for you. And once you identify that, I'm going to be there to help point out opportunities where you can potentially automate workflows and potentially build things that would serve your needs on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'll give you an example of this. For myself, I use various forms of AI to pretty much automate everything in my life, okay, or as much of it as I possibly can. I think once I get a fully self-driving car, I'll be kind of there. My entire house is set up on 2 different AI systems, actually. I run one and then one that's a redundancy if the other one goes down. Yeah, I'm that kind of nerd, okay? Now, with that being said, everything from coffee for my other half to the lights, the color of the lights, the door locks, the HVAC system, the security system, the dog feeder, the dog waterer, all of these things are automated in my home. Everything. And everything can be controlled by voice. In my day-to-day activities, when I turn on my computer, ChatGPT has a whole list of things for me to review. I have it integrated into all of my Google accounts, so it's connected there. We're going to talk about connectors this week, so stay tuned. That's really interesting stuff. But I think it's super, super important that we kind of understand that AI is there to support you. So this week is all about starting to think through, hey, what is it I hate to do that I could simplify? Is there something that can be done that I don't need to do it every day, but it can be just waiting for me when I come to it? I don't care if it's the news. I don't care if it's, hey, retrieve articles on this topic. But the great thing about all of this in AI is that if you can dream it, you can work with your virtual assistant, which is really what AI should be used as a partner, as a virtual assistant, um, to create it. If you don't know how to create it, AI is one of the first tools where it can teach you how to better use itself. So that's really, really a powerful thing that I want you guys to lean into this week. So let's talk about why productivity matters in the AI era. Okay. AI isn't just about writing essays or generating art. At its core, it's a thinking partner, a tool that should be used to help you. It can help you plan your time more efficiently, summarize long documents, emails, or lectures, write emails, outlines, or reports faster, automate repetitive tasks like creating templates, checklists, or follow up. The goal isn't to replace your thinking, but it's to reduce friction so that your energy goes towards things that really matter. Okay. I want to ask you guys a question, and obviously you can't answer back to me, but how much time would you save if AI handled just 10% of your weekly tasks? For me, it's a monumental amount of time. I spend about 70 hours a week working, um, and then commuting, and then emailing, and all those kinds of things. So for me, anything that I can automate out has a huge impact on my quality of life. For you, it could be an hour, it could be 10 hours, but that's what we're trying to explore this week. I want you to think about use cases and just kind of tease it out. So let's talk about planning with AI. I want you to think about this as a prompt. Act as a student success coach based on my schedule below. Build me a balanced weekly plan that includes 3 hours of study per day, 2 work shifts, gym time, and 1 evening for socializing. AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini can create a schedule with blocks, goals, and time estimates. You can paste it into Google Calendar or even ask it to convert the plan into a table. If you need to plan a trip, book a flight, create a content calendar or meal prep routine, change the context. AI can then create the checklist, the timelines, and reminders if integrated with the proper apps. Again, this is where connectors come in. It's important. Pay attention to it this week. It's one of the most powerful ways that large language models like ChatGPT can really extend their reach to help. So this is something I'm really excited about. As a general pro tip, I want you to start with a rough idea of how you think it can work, and then start to ask the AI to turn it into a structure, and then ask it to revise. Remember, we talked about iterating, right? This works better than trying to get a perfect result in one go. So I get it. It's super fun to like one shot an application or something to coding or programming with an AI to get it to build something in one shot. I love that. And it's a challenge for me because it's so nuanced and learning how to phrase it right can be really fun. But with this one, I want you guys to focus on using iteratively because that for me, 9 times out of 10 is where I get the best results. So another benefit of AI is summarizing with AI. All right. If you're overwhelmed by a 20-page article or perhaps the 206-page research article that I posted earlier this semester, AI was able to summarize that for you. I don't know if you guys remember it, but we took a 206-page research paper and condensed it down into a 17-minute podcast, and then further condensed it down into a 5-minute video. Okay. You can take a long email thread and literally put in the prompt, summarize the key takeaways of this article in 3 bullet points, or this email thread in 3 bullet points. Make it easy to explain to someone who hasn't read it. You can specify the tone, make it sound professional, simplify this for a middle school audience, add emojis and humor for a casual Slack message. These are all options that you can use. Now, AI tools such as Perplexity AI, ChatGPT, Claude, they all really thrive in this kind of workflow or usage. One thing that's interesting is Perplexity AI, depending on what the topic is very helpful because it can really focus on real-time source summaries, which can be a game changer for research presentations. It shows where the information is coming from, which also reduces hallucinations. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. But it's also very valuable to just upload the document or the text or take a screenshot or copy and paste. Any of those input methods work. Throw it into ChatGPT and say, summarize this for me. Give me the key takeaways and do it, email it to me. Or, well, you can't have it email it to you yet. That integration with Gmail is just starting to come live, so I'm getting real excited about that. But that's kind of where we're at, right? When using ChatGPT, you always want to follow up with, are there any parts of this summary that might be inaccurate or hallucinated? Interestingly enough, ChatGPT now is getting much better at self-correcting and recognizing its own hallucinations. So fun things to know. Summarizing with AI, another thing that I really use, there's this recording device. It's called Plaud AI, Plaud AI, and it's a little card. It's about the size of a credit card, but it's an AI voice recorder. And I'm able to record my meetings, and it summarizes it, gives me all the key bullet points, the takeaways, the action items, and I can even add other information into it. So I've started to really rely on that to keep track of what's going on in our conversations and in our meetings. So just a few useful tips when it comes to summarizing with AI. Now, the other thing that, of course, we're going to talk about is writing faster and smarter. Writing is still the #1 thing that people use AI for, and there are smarter ways to do it. So last week we talked about prompting. Again, we always want to start with a prompt template. So you want to define the persona, right? It's going to be act as a professional communication coach. And then you want to describe what you want it to do. Write a concise email to my professor explaining that I'll miss class Thursday due to a family emergency and will submit the assignment by Sunday. That's going to give you your initial response. Then, once you have that, you can ask for a more formal version. You can ask it to cut the word count in half. You can ask it to personalize the tone to match your writing style. Okay? Now, I want you to take that and then think about all the other use cases that you can use that for, right? So think about social media captions, cover letters, discussion board posts, website copy, product descriptions, okay? Don't stop at the first draft. Prompt it to rewrite, improve, shorten, or even fact check. It is a constant iteration. Hey, this is great. I love it, but I want you to change this, this, and this into a different tone. I want you to make sure that this is applicable to this. These are all really important things. As a general pro tip, always add, consider the tone, clarity, and professionalism. That one phrase often elevates the writing quality. So it'll take it to the next level just by inputting that. Sorry, I have a call coming in. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. So the other thing we're going to talk about is kind of automating daily tasks. And this is what I spoke to you guys about that I use in my home. Now, there's other ways to do it though. Simple things you can automate: weekly reminders, meeting agendas, lesson plans, steady review guides, follow-up templates. All of these things can be automated. But what's really cool is you can create prompt libraries and things like Google Docs, right? So you could use ChatGPT to generate a Monday plan, and then use Perplexity to find current news on your industry. You could then use Gemini to generate content from your calendar entries, and then use browser extensions to reuse the prompts across all the platforms. These are all low-code, low-stress ways to bring structure into your life without needing to be a programmer. I think the final thought this week is about real-life transformation. We talked about all the concerns of the use of AI. We talked about things that can go wrong. We talked about the correct platforms and how each tool has its own specialization. And I think that's really important that we're able to do that. But now we're starting to put it all together, right? And this week, we don't need to change everything. We just want to automate one thing, summarize one email, schedule one week using AI. And that's how habits are built. Okay. So these are goals that I would love to see you guys be able to do. Imagine using ChatGPT to plan your next 7 days. Okay. You could use Perplexity to summarize an article or lecture. You could use Gemini to draft one message or a report. And you could start to create a list of prompts that you've saved that you want to use for next time. I have a whole list of prompts. I have probably, I don't know, between all the places I've acquired them from, probably 2,000 different prompts. And if anyone's interested, I'm more than willing to share some of those with you guys. But my challenge for you guys this week is to pick one part of your routine, whether it's academic, personal, or work related, and create a mini productivity system using AI. And then think about what you want automated, or what you were able to automate, how it helped, and what still needs your own human touch. You've got the tools, it's all available to all of us. So now it's time to put them to work. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I can't wait to see the creative ways you guys apply all these tools in your own lives. Let's start building some smarter workflows and start taking back our time. Let's use AI the way it's intended to be used as your assistant to give you a better quality of life. Thanks so much, guys. I look forward to all your participation this week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But as always, you can call me, text me, anything you need. I'm here to support you. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great day.